Hey, it's pronounced Vag and I'm Adam. And I need a haircut. In my recent video about my Irish Green DTMs from Rotiform, I asked people to comment on that video for the chance to win a Spektrum color binder. And I'm really happy to announce that the winner is Jason Brown. He's the owner of a Cliff Green Golf R in the United States, and I couldn't be happier that this is going to a Spektrum owner. I've already reached out to him, and he is, I guess needless to say, super stoked to win this because he said he's been hunting for one of these binders for a while. So congrats, Jason. I'll be sending this to you soon. Don't be bummed if you didn't win this time because I have more Spektrum binders that I'll be giving away in the future. I'm actually going to be making another video at some point specifically about these binders and the fun facts I've learned about them and how I've actually managed to get 5 different dealers to send me theirs. But the real point of this video is that I want to tell you everything that I've learned about the Volkswagen Spektrum program for the North American market. That's Canada and the United States of America. Look, I understand what you might be thinking. Who is this idiot? Right here. What do I know that you don't already know about the Spektrum program? How could I possibly tell you anything more that you don't already know? Well, what you might not know is that I'm insane, and I've spent a significant portion of every day for the last 7 months searching for Spektrum owners in the United States and Canada. So in that time, I've been in touch with people from Volkswagen who created and implemented the program. I've messaged probably over 150 different owners on Facebook, Instagram, Reddit, anywhere that I can find somebody with a Spektrum car. I've also heard from countless other enthusiasts and people who have seen them, love them, wish they owned one. So, you could say I've been chatting with a few people. To keep track of all the Spektrum cars I find, I started an Instagram handle called Spektrum.only, where I'm trying to build an owner's registry of all the owners and cars I come across. And I guess this is a good time to point out that for this YouTube channel, we also have an Instagram handle at It's Pronounced Vag, where we post on a more regular basis about what we're doing with our cars and cool things that we see. So for both of those handles, I'll put a link down in the description. So now, the story of Spektrum, as I've come to know it. All right, so what was Spektrum? In short, it was a custom color program for the North American market designed to pay homage to Volkswagen's most brilliant and popular colors throughout their history. Every Spektrum car was hand-painted by a Volkswagen paint specialist on a separate production line in Wolfsburg, Germany. As each individual car was ordered, they were pulled from the main production line, put on a truck, sent about 1 kilometer or about a half mile to the paint shop, painted, and then they were put back on the truck, taken back for final assembly. One question I see from a lot of different Spektrum owners is, what number were they? Were they the first made? Were they the last made? Unfortunately, there was no numbered order of any of these because how they were pulled from the assembly line. So this was a program that was designed just to make them as they were ordered. So there was not any special number plates or anything that were made. You know, Volkswagen said that this was something made for the enthusiast. So a customer could walk in the door and order a Golf R or an e-Golf in one of many different colors. And that's right, I said an e-Golf. I don't think very many people know, but in Canada, you could get a Spektrum e-Golf. Most people who know about the Spektrum program immediately think about the Golf R, which was a prominent car for the program. But like I just said, the e-Golf, it was actually where the program began in Canada for the 2017 model year. Not many people outside of Volkswagen know that the program may not have existed as we know it without Scott Hollinshead at Volkswagen Canada. He is currently their product planning manager for battery electric vehicles, but had a major role with the Golf. His team decided to create the Spektrum program because they kept getting requests for exotic colors that were available in other markets like Germany. One of his colleagues was working on the Golf R at the time, which is produced in Wolfsburg. And since non-standard colors come for basically any Golf coming out of Wolfsburg for other markets, they worked to secure buy-in from Volkswagen AG to bring it to Canada. Scott was working on the launch of the e-Golf at the time, which happened to come out first, so it kind of upstaged the Golf R Spektrum, but there wasn't any love lost between he and his colleague. His team considered over 300 different colors, so they ordered samples of every single one of them, laid them all out, and workshopped through them, considering the merits of each one and each of their importance for Volkswagen's history. Scott was the one to choose the Spektrum color palette from over 300 samples, and he was the one who saw the program through to the end. During our chats, he admitted to me that blue is his favorite color, and while trying to not be biased, we still ended up with a third of the original Spektrum color palette to be various shades of blue. We owe Scott and his colleague a huge thanks for the work they put into this program. In that first year, Volkswagen Canada offered 30 different colors in addition to the standard colors available. But only 18 Spektrum e-Golfs were ordered and produced. Spektrum orders for the Canadian e-Golf lasted through the 2020 model year, but we'll talk more about the e-Golf and its production numbers later. 2018 was the introduction of the facelifted Mark 7.5 Golf R, and in Canada, that's when they started allowing customers who were ordering Golf Rs to choose a color from the Spektrum color program. Now, come 2019, Canadians were still ordering their Spektrum e-Golfs and Golf Rs, but this time, for 1 year and 1 year only, as a final send-off for the Mark 7 Golf R, Volkswagen of America brought the program to the United States, and the people rejoiced. This is where another prominent Volkswagen figure comes into play, and I think many of the enthusiasts who are watching this know that I'm talking about Megan Closet.
Megan Closet.
She is the Volkswagen of America Golf Product Manager, among many other things. Her idea to bring the Spektrum program to the United States was triggered when she learned about a 2017 Mark 7 Golf R that was painted carbon steel gray and is the only one of its kind. If you don't know, this was a standard color for the United States, but it was only offered for the GTI. She watched as people went nuts in a Facebook group when a salesperson posted pictures and announced that this accidental Golf R was for sale. It was that moment when she began working furiously, writing letters to higher-ups to convince them that the USA needed this program badly. And eventually, it happened. Undoubtedly, the coolest part about her involvement in this program is that she took the initiative to add a personal touch for every customer that ordered a Spektrum Golf R and took delivery in the United States. She took the time to handcraft a custom card with the color sample of each owner's R and an R badge on the front, and then handwrote a personalized message on the inside congratulating them on their purchase, and then added a little tidbit about how many of each of their colors were produced. Many of the owners I've chatted with absolutely cherish this card, and I doubt that many of them will ever give it up if they sell the car. They were totally surprised and impressed that they received something this personalized from a major car manufacturer. So before I move on and get extra nerdy with production numbers and other Spektrum fun facts, I have to pause and give a huge thank you to Megan because she has been ultra patient with me. She has answered questions about production numbers. She has confirmed VIN numbers for cars that I think are Spektrum that aren't, and actually some that are. I would have very likely given up in the process for the hunt for Spektrums and creating this owner's registry and just learning about it if she wasn't there and so patient with me. So thank you, Megan. Now we can get back to more Spektrum things. For the 2019 model year, there were 4 colors that were discontinued. That is Champagne Metallic, Harvest Moon Beige, Laser Blue Pearl, and Terra Brown. I think that all these colors got discontinued because of low production, but in the case of Harvest Moon Beige, there was actually none ever produced. And so as Scott put it to me, he said that, you can't rely on all the data. For the Beetle, that was a very popular color. Nobody ordered it for the Golf R or the Spektrum e-Golf. Even though there were colors that were removed from the program, Volkswagen added 14 more colors to backfill what was lost and bring the total all the way up from 30 to 40 different colors that you could choose for a Spektrum e-Golf in Canada or Golf R in the United States and Canada. 40 different colors. One of the most asked questions that I get, and I'm sure you're wondering now too, is how many were produced? For the 2017 through the 2020 model year, there was 104 e-Golfs produced in Canada. For 2018 and 2019 in Canada, there was 274 Golf Rs produced. And then in the United States, for the 2019 model year only, there was 199 Spektrum Golf Rs produced. So that makes for 577 total Spektrum Golfs produced for North America. That number includes fleet cars, press cars, demo cars, and obviously customers' cars. Unfortunately, for all those different colors that were available, not all of them got produced. Some of them were high production, some were low production, some were no production. Of the 44 colors available over the years to Canadians, they chose not to order 10 different colors. In the United States, it was a similar story where Americans missed out on 7 of the 40 colors that were available to them for the 2019 model year. Considering the total production across all of North America, there were 4 colors that were never produced, all because someone just didn't order it. Those colors are anthracite metallic, futura yellow metallic, oxide red, and womp womp, harvest moon beige, which I already mentioned. Even the most popular Spektrum colors can be hard to find, but of all 44 colors available across North America, there are 26 different colors that had 10 or less produced. In fact, there are 4 colors where only 1 was ever produced in all of North America. That is 1 Caribbean green Golf R in the USA, shout out to Melissa, 1 dark burgundy pearl Golf R in the USA. I found this owner on Reddit, but they haven't gotten back to me yet. 1 star blue metallic Golf R in Canada, and 1 Terra Brown e-Golf in Canada. There's only 1 of each of those 4 colors ever produced for all of North America. So now you know about the Spektrum colors that were the least popular. But what about the ones that were the most popular? Well, it's a pretty interesting breakdown when you look at the top 3 colors from each country. It may be no surprise to you that the most popular color for the USA was Viper Green Metallic, with 33 produced. The second is Cliff Green with 19 produced, and the third is Ginster Yellow with 13 produced. So if you're tracking the math at this point and you see that the third most popular color in the United States only had 13 produced, you're right. They're all pretty rare. Below that in the list, they're extremely rare. So good luck finding your favorite color if you're looking to buy one that's not in that top 3. And I would say that even in that top 3, they're super hard to come by. And I would say the same goes for all the Canadian colors. So those numbers go like this for the top 3. Number 1 is Dark Violet Pearl with 27 Golf Rs and 7 e-Golfs. Number 2 is Viper Green Metallic with 26 Rs and 8 e-Golfs. And number 3 is Ginster Yellow with 18 Rs and 12 e-Golfs. And a little fun fact there on the end is that Ginster Yellow was the most popular color for the e-Golf in Canada, because that's the only place you could get it. All right, I'm going to stop there with the production details, and I'll plan to make another video following up on the production numbers, breaking down model, color, and country for the whole Spektrum program. Now, because not every Spektrum color is a bright popping color, there's a lot of them that tend to blend in with other cars on the road. And if you see a Golf R or an e-Golf pass by and something that looks unusual, doing a double take, I have a trick for figuring out if it's a Spektrum or not. On a standard color e-Golf and Golf R, on the spoiler, that area immediately surrounding the third brake light is gloss black. But on a Spektrum car, that entire area is matched to the body color. So if you go around the back, peek under the spoiler, and you see that that area is painted the same color as the rest of the car, you have found yourself a Spektrum. I asked if this is something that was done on purpose to help identify Spektrum cars out on the road from standard color cars, but the best answer that I got is that it was just probably something that was related to the process. The cars were removed from the assembly line, taken to the paint specialist shop, where someone made the decision of hand spraying, and maybe even the paint specialist decided that that was something that they were going to do. And then the car was sent back to the assembly line, assembled, and shipped out. So that is the only difference that I've been able to find from a Spektrum car to a non-Spektrum car in the way that it's been painted. Other than the custom colors, there's nothing that was added to the interior or exterior of these cars to make them any different from a standard e-Golf or Golf R. But I can guarantee you that a standard color will not give you the same feels as driving a extremely limited factory painted color into your next Cars and Coffee. All right, everyone, that's it for me. Thank you so much for listening to me ramble on about the Spektrum program. Please consider subscribing to our channel, and I'll have many more stories about Spektrums coming up, and obviously the work that we'll be doing on our own cars. So we'll see you in the next one.